So hi, we're going to look at unit number 6, and I want you guys to see what we need to do. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to hit share screen. You've been through this movie before, right? And there we go. We're in the course, and we've got unit 6 here, individual differences, decision making, and motivation. And when you go in, you are going to see a video up here, this one. And you've got the overview, the objectives, reading prep work, all the standard structure that we've been using all along. It's a fair bit of work in here. So let's take a look at the readings and prep work to begin. Short article on the difference between men and women. I always find that interesting, the gender questions that come up. There's decision-making in organizations. It'll be mandatory for everybody. There's a folder here to split up among team members, and there's some additional readings on decision-making. It's optional, and the material in here is actually really quite interesting. I encourage you to take a look at it. But let's start here. Decision-making in organizations. This is a link that will take you over to Harvard Business Publishing. And they'll want you to register here because this will be your first time in for most of you. If you've already registered, then you can certainly just put in your email or username that you've created and a password, and that'll take you straight to the material. So they want you to register, put in an email, a password, confirm the password, some contact info, some information about the program, and then you submit an application. And because at least according to Harvard, at any rate, because the material has already been paid, you'll immediately be able to end up going back to this screen here and then just sign in and get straight at the material. So let's assume that works. If it doesn't, here's some instructions again. If it doesn't, here's a 24/7 800 number to provide you with support for it. I phoned them at 11:30 at night. I phoned them at 4:30 in the morning as examples, not the same day. But they've been very quick to respond, and I found them incredibly helpful. So I think you'll get a lot of help, although like I showed you, I think this is very standard. Create a username and register and log in, which you guys have done 1,001 times. There's another folder here called Material to Split Up Among Team Members. And if you click into here, you'll see there's 5 readings. Each one of them is a PDF document, which means that if you click on it, right, it just opens up right away, and then you can download it. Let's take a look at this one. You can see that I've got some material from a textbook. And so they have things like stars here on the side, and just ignore them. Same thing with the chapter warm-ups, for example, because I haven't signed us up for the My Management Lab. I was on purpose. I thought just the reading and content alone would be adequate for you guys since you are in an MBA program. So this kind of stuff probably isn't really necessary. And the reading isn't hard, but it is comprehensive. And so you can see here when they've got a little world beside it, the idea is for you to be able to consider these things on a worldwide basis instead of only on a, say, US basis. And so you can print these up if you want, or if you're a good reader, just go ahead and, or a computer reader, just go ahead and read them off the computer. There's a lot of sources of information if you want to really, what I keep calling for you guys, nerd out and dig in a little bit deeper. And I know I'm going a bit fast, but I don't know how often you think about religion as a differentiating characteristic when you're looking at diversity. Sexual orientation and gender identity, of course, is huge nowadays. Cultural identity. I'm Canadian. And let me tell you a little joke maybe. What does sharp-dressed man mean for you when you hear either the song or the words? And usually the answer I get here in the US, well, it makes you think of ZZ Top. In Canada, it makes us think of Don Cherry. And Don Cherry is an absolutely insane commenter on Saturday Night Live with these unbelievable suits that he wears. And there's a simple but fairly profound difference between Canadian and American culture. I get a different picture in my head. You get a picture of three guys with these beards and flipping guitars. I get this picture of an old guy in the most insane suits you've ever seen, being extremely controversial, talking about hockey during the first intermissions. Culture makes a huge difference. And here we look at different aspects of culture, for example, and I want you to read through this stuff, and I want you to get a sense and an understanding of what all this means. Now, notice when we go back here, this is material to be split up among team members. So not each person in the team reads each article. What I'm trying to help you build in your team is something called a transactive memory system. And a transactive memory system is interesting because it's incredibly useful for teams and their effectiveness, because not everybody has to know everything. All you need to know is who knows what, so that you can ask that person to provide the information you need when it's relevant. And that's handy because you don't have to drive yourself crazy knowing everything. Now, obviously, if you want, you're very welcome to read each chapter. But for your purposes, and especially, I think, for the assignment that you have with us for developing this team project, here's an opportunity to learn how to develop a transactive memory system in a really simple way. Let's go back to the screen here. And then if you go in here, there's some additional readings on decision making. These are pretty short readings. And I'm using the academic approach here where I give the name of the person and the year that it was published. You can see these are all 2018s except George and Dane, which is 2016. I just like her work. I think she does interesting stuff. So that's why I threw that one in there for you guys. But again, these are PDF files. And there you go, and you can read through them. They're fairly quick and easy and down and dirty, but they're pretty valuable. So I would encourage you to read them. They won't take all that much time to get through. So let me get back to ending sharing. There we go, it's at the top. I always look at the bottom. So that's the basic stuff to do in Unit 6. You're going to increase your team project. There, let me get that hair just in the right spot. There we go. The glasses need work, though, don't you think? I do. Anyway, the material you'll want to expand out your project and to use this material to answer the research question that you guys are focusing on. Now, as always, make sure that you send me an email, or if you need to talk with me, let me know so we can set up a time. Starting tomorrow, which is, or on Wednesday, I'm down in Denver for the outdoor show. If any of you are actually down there, I'm going to the outdoor show, let me know. I'd love to meet you and we sit down for a cup of coffee and chat. That would be a real treat for me. And I will keep a sharp eye out on the emails. And I wish you all the best of luck with the work this week. And I'm confident you guys will do an excellent job, especially based on the second reading I've done of your individual projects. You got the revisions that Brooke and I recommended. I've taken a second reading through that material, and I think you guys are really well on track for the most part. Well, talk to you again soon. Bye.